Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. I feel like I've been singing that song all morning. Hey, so I'm super excited. I'm going to start doing these lives on Tuesdays just to be consistent and also because I feel like you guys have a lot of questions and I struggle to answer them sometimes just because of timing. So, Tuesdays, I'm trying to be on here at 10 o'clock. We have a big webinar event tomorrow, so I'm a little bit late today. I've been prepping for that. However, come on in. So today our topic is about sleep. Um, Sleep is the most common thing that people come to me for. And so I wanted to kind of talk about it because people ask me, how does cannabis help with sleep? How does CBD help with sleep? What kind of things can I expect, anticipate, or use to help me with sleep, blah, blah, blah. So that's what we're going to talk about today. If you have sleep related questions, you can put them in the comments and I will try to answer them as I go along. But one of the important things that I feel like I should start every live with is that you and me, we have an endocannabinoid system. And I think many people don't even know that this is a thing. So, yes, we have an endocannabinoid system. And what that means is that your body produces similar compounds to the cannabis plant already. You have endocannabinoids, which means cannabinoids produced inside of your body. Okay. So, it's really important that we take that into consideration. I'm trying to share this out, y'all. That we take that into consideration because if you don't know that this system exists inside of you, sometimes you may feel like, why the heck would I try cannabis? Why would cannabis work for me? What is cannabis doing to my body? What is it doing to my brain? I get these questions all the time. And then, people don't want to get addicted and da 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 da. So it's kind of what we're talking about today. So the first thing I get, the most common questions I get from patients is how to they can't get to sleep. So I need something to help me fall asleep, right? That's like the first thing. Or I have people who wake up at 3 a.m. I don't know why 3 a.m. is the time, but usually it's people who wake up throughout the night. They don't get a restful sleep. And then once they wake up, it's hard for them to fall back to sleep. I do fall into the category of not being able to stay asleep. I don't have those issues anymore because I use cannabis, but I did have those issues of staying asleep. And I felt like 3 a.m. was the time. I don't know what it was about 3 a.m., but 3 a.m. was a time when I felt like, okay, I'm awake, I'm alert. This is what's happening. So, and then we have people who have other conditions at night, like hot sweats, restless leg syndrome, night terrors, snoring. Like there's so many other conditions, right, that keep us from getting restful sleep. A lot of times, if it's the screens, it's there's our lifestyle hugely impacts the kind of sleep that we can get. Before, I would be up all night, and then finally when I did go to sleep, I wasn't getting a very good sleep. So I have tried all kinds of different things. And so what the studies show is that you might require something to fall asleep and then also something to help you stay asleep, where these products may not be one and the same sometimes. And then there's also certain cannabinoids, like we know THC and CBD, right? Those are two cannabinoids that many people are familiar with. But there's a cannabinoid called CBN, and you can think of it as CB night. If you want to remember which one that one is. And CBN is seen on plants that are a little bit older. Like once the cannabis has aged a little bit, it tends to produce this CBN, and some plants are grown to have high quantities of CBN. CBN is a cannabinoid, a compound in the plant that can help you with sleep. Okay, so there are many strains that have CBN in them and that are really beneficial for people when they're trying to find ways to not only fall asleep but stay asleep. Again, some people don't have an issue falling asleep. Some are so tired they fall asleep very easily, but then it's staying asleep that's a challenge. So a lot of times people will ask me, what's the best method for falling asleep and what's the best method for staying asleep? And it's all trial and error. For me, Specifically, what has helped me is specific strains. There's some strains that I can actually do inhalation. I can, I don't smoke per se, but I do use a vaporizer. So there are those that I can inhale, or you guys would say smoke, but it's not smoking because I don't light it. But inhaling, there are certain strains that will let me stay asleep, but there's only one or two of those. So inhalation can help me get to sleep. I mean, I can fall asleep really easy with certain strains, but then staying asleep is hard. So a lot of times what happens is people will say, I smoke something and it helped me go to sleep, and then I woke up at 3 a.m. So usually with those cases, we'll add either an edible, like a gummy, or an oil or a tincture under the tongue, something that will be digested through your will go through your digestive tract and be metabolized by your liver, and that significantly will give you longer effects of the cannabis. So what happens is, if you inhale it, it only lasts like 1 to 2 hours sometimes, or maybe 3 hours depending on the strains you have, but it won't last 8 hours for you to get sleep. So what I find a lot is that patients need something to keep them asleep, and that could be pairing an inhalable, which will help them go to sleep, with an edible or an oil that they consume orally that will help them stay asleep. Okay. Some people don't need something to get to sleep. They can just take something orally or take an edible, and that'll help them stay asleep. Okay, so those are the different ways and methods. So we've talked about this before, and if you haven't, I'm actually going to link below once I'm done with this, the methods, different methods of consuming cannabis and how they work, because that's really important for when you're trying to figure out, what's going to work best for your situation. Okay, and so as far as the endocannabinoid system, I was talking about this before. So the endocannabinoid system is a system in our body. It's a master communicating system. It talks and speaks to all the other organs in our body, and it helps to maintain balance in our body, or homeostasis, or as I like to say, a stable home. And my body is my first home. So I like it to be nice and stable. So one of the things that I find that are essential sometimes is not just your sleep, but what you're doing throughout the day to help with sleep. Okay, so I am one of those people that you come to me for, I can't sleep, and I'm like, okay, well, let's go for a walk. And they're like, hey, what does that have to do with sleep? So one of the things that I find has helped a lot of my clients is before bedtime, stretching, walking, doing some type of releasing of all that tension, of all that energy that's inside your body, meditation, relaxation, yoga, just anything that can help you kind of woosah before you even get to bed. A lot of times people fall asleep on the couch or they fall asleep, they go lay in the bed and they're reading, and then they fall asleep while they're doing that. I mean, that's not good sleep hygiene necessarily. You want to give your body a routine, and your body will start to know, like, it's time to wind down, and then you can better prepare yourself for that. So the thing that the endocannabinoid system does in our body, that your endocannabinoid system does in your body, is it helps you with resetting your circadian rhythm. The circadian rhythm is what is our body's natural rhythm, and it relates to our sleep and wake cycles. So nurses, I'm talking a lot to nurses this week because it's Nurses Week, but nurses struggle with this a lot, and people who work in different fields where you have to do night shifts, they struggle with that circadian rhythm, because our body and the universe, as much as we don't want to acknowledge that, we are all in sync. So our body wants to wake up when the sun is out, because that makes sense for our body. It's the natural rhythms. So when we're not getting rest and we're not letting our endocannabinoid system restore itself and kind of, get that reset at night, our circadian rhythm is off, and then we're tired, we're exhausted, we're agitated. Our fight or flight is not that, what I'm saying? We have that that impulsivity there. We're not our best selves, right? So sleep is super, super important. people ask me, so I have some questions that people sent me in. How do you guide patients to better sleep with cannabis? So sleep with cannabis is a case by case basis because it depends on what your nighttime routine is, what other conditions you have going on. Do you take medication at night? All of these things. However, at the same time, most clients will benefit from some type of stress reduction throughout the day so that when it is time to go to sleep, you're not trying to release all that stress and anxiety of the whole day at 10 o'clock at night when you're about to lay down. So releasing that stress can be in many different ways. I am a walker. When I am stressed, I walk. When I'm not stressed, I walk. Like, I need to be moving. But that's where I release all of my stressors, all of my anxieties, all of it. I leave it out there on the pavement. And I found that if I can walk, I usually walk for about an hour or maybe more. But if I can at least get an hour of walking in every day, and this may not be possible for you, maybe you're only going to be able to do 10 minutes, but you start slow and build up from there. But exercise, nutrition, caffeine, limiting it, getting a routine for bedtime, like all of these things matter. And so, one of the things that I think is important as a cannabis nurse is that people need to understand cannabis is not a miracle. It's not a miracle. It's science. Like, it does do miraculous things, but the truth is it's science. So if your body is broken down because you haven't given your body that opportunity to rest and reset, and you're living like this stressful, anxious, high-paced, crazy life, cannabis is not going to solve that, right? It's like we have to make those changes for ourselves. And so what I find in my clients, I would say 99, I really like this number, 99% of my clients that add some kind of mindfulness, exercise, or routines into their life along with cannabis see significant changes, not just with sleep, but in their whole life. Literally, like their whole life. Like, I just see it every day. I have one guy who he is on just CBD oil, the hemp-derived CBD oil. He takes it every month. Every month he orders his CBD, and he sends me his reports in because I do ask for updates of how he's doing, and I'm always so impressed because it's a building up of quality of life. His quality of life has improved so much. He's doing more, he's more active, he's more involved with his kids and his family, he's cooking, he's got less pain, he's sleeping better, his relationship with his wife, all these things are improved upon because not only is he using cannabis to help him with his pain management throughout the day, he's using it to help with sleep, he's getting more restorative sleep, but he's also added routines in there where he's walking, he's more active, and he's doing different things, which started off progressively, small, and then progressed from there. Okay. So, exercise before, so getting good sleep can help with increased motivation to exercise, which sounds crazy, but if you're not tired, like, you're more likely to want to go for a walk or want to enjoy the day or want to do different things. And then again, that staying asleep is so crucial because what happens is a lot of times, and this is like one of the most common things, pretty much everyone tells me they tried cannabis or they tried something and it made them sleepy, right? And so I'm like, okay, that's great if you need it for sleep, right? But they weren't able to stay asleep. So with the staying asleep part, I love to find other, options that work for people. Some people can fall. So here's the thing with CBD. Some people can fall asleep with CBD. Some people cannot. So CBD can be alerting or, exciting, excitatory in some individuals. So not everyone can use CBD to go to sleep. And some people, CBD can be, more relaxing and help them with, more sedating in a sense. But everyone is different. And that's why, one of the things that we do in our consultations is we kind of talk about these are all the different options, and let's have some options in there just in case this doesn't work. that you have a backup plan. Okay, we always have a backup plan. So some people may say, I want to start with CBD and hemp derived products because I don't want to feel high, and that's fine. And then we'll also have some other options if that's needed, that they can, access if it's in a legal state, etc. Maybe some more medical grade cannabis or different products that may not be available just, at the grocery store. And then also looking at the kind of CBD products you get. A lot of times I get clients that they send me pictures of their CBD products, and whatever they're using may not be full spectrum. It may not have, all of the cannabinoids in there that they need. It may not be a significant amount of the actual cannabis in there. Oh, my watch is thinking I'm asking to call someone. So it may not have all the cannabinoids that you need in there, or it may not be as concentrated as you might need. Everything is, like I said before, it's on a trial, case by case basis. But the important thing is knowing that if you use inhalables, you may not be able to stay asleep. Inhalables don't last that long to keep you asleep throughout the night. They can if you are able to, but some people need additional support, whether that's a gummy or an edible of some sort, or an oil, or even a patch. I have some people that have used patches to give them that longer lasting effect. Okay, so I want to know, do you struggle with staying asleep, falling asleep, or any kind of sleep conditions? I am going to be answering more questions this week about sleep here, and also on Instagram. I just wanted to come here today and do this quick live because I feel like my lives are always like extra long. So I'm trying to keep these between 15 and 20 minutes the longest. So if you have questions about sleep, let me know. I'm happy to answer those. Remember, CBN is great for sleeping. If you can find products that have CBN, think of CB night. That will help. It's one of the cannabinoids that's really helpful for sleep. Also think about mixing your methods. If you use inhalables, adding maybe an oral or edible or a patch, something that can provide longer relief and longer effects so that you can stay asleep. And then if you want to do a consultation or you have more questions, I'm always open for consultations. Go to thecushnurse.com and you can book a session with me, and I'm happy to help you navigate any of those issues. And again, I hope you guys have a wonderful day today. Thank you for joining in, and I will see you guys next Tuesday. Our topic next Tuesday is, I think it's mental health, but let me check. Our topic for next Tuesday is mental health, because this is Mental Health Awareness Month. So join us next Tuesday. We're going to be talking about cannabis for mental health. I think I'm going to have some nurses that are going to be able to join us as well to talk about trauma, PTSD, and just some mindfulness things that we can use in conjunction with or without cannabis. And again, my name is Sandra Gwines. I'm the Kush Nurse. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys on Tuesday. Take care.